Yeah, hello everybody. Here's Eric from Laserscanning TV. And for my audience, I saw something pretty interesting. At first, I will welcome Eugene Liscio. Welcome.
Hello, Eric. Welcome, welcome.
Yeah. He's sitting now in Greater Toronto area, Canada, and he having also a good YouTube channel and some internet offerings, what we can explain a little bit later. But I saw their very interesting video, and I asked him if he can explain a little bit more for the clients for my channel, what he checked there out. The topic is definitely iPhone LIDAR based or versus terrestrial laser scanner, what we can achieve. I would say that's correct.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's something that I did a little while ago, and it seems to have gotten some interest for sure.
Yeah, maybe you introduce you a little bit where you're coming from. You are what is your profession?
Sure thing. Yeah, I'll go back. So I'll try to be brief here. My background is actually in aerospace engineering. So I studied at a university here in Toronto, and then I worked in the aerospace industry for a while. And then obviously I made a career change in 2005. Excuse me. I thought I would go out on my own and try, adapting some of what I learned with 3D technologies to forensics. And so for accident reconstruction, for shootings and homicides and things like this. So since 2005 up until today, made a lot of progress with laser scanning, photogrammetry, hand scanners, structured light scanners, total stations. So trying to implement and integrate all these things together. So I also teach at the University of Toronto. There's a course that I teach called Introduction to 3D Forensic Mapping and Reconstruction. And that's in the Forensic Sciences program. That is a very unique course, I think. I think it's the only one of its kind in the world, really. And really, it's about applying 3D technologies to problems in forensics. And whether it's for bullet trajectories or bloodstain pattern analysis, for like integrating with video to do suspect height analysis. There's a number of different things that we're working on. So, I do training and teaching for police. So I have a few different things that I'm doing, but most of it is all pretty much dedicated to the forensics area.
Yep. It's I can say or I'd say well, how long I know Eugene, and I know he was we say where he I know him from, and then I know that he ordered some accessory, I think a high tripod from us, and then we sent it to
Yes.
Canada, and then shortly later we get then some test report. They say, oh, what's that kind of guy who sent us
Yeah.
a test? I test these, and I think you have also our reference spheres. You used them too.
Yep.
We got
Yep.
then really feedback from you. You are really a guy who check out technology and check how good is this working for your clients. I think
Yeah.
in this time this is car crashes or what the applications.
Yeah, the tripod was a really good one. So that's the big tripod because
Yeah.
sometimes you need to get up really high and you want the scanner to be as stable as possible. So that's that
Okay.
tripod. It's a 4 meter tripod,
Yeah. That's
and
what.
it's a monster even when it's collapsed. Yeah,
Yeah, you say I'm like this. I say, yeah, you can put this on your pickup, but of course you don't have a pickup truck.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like
No,
Canada, you can put this. This is a heavy, a large one.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Coming back to the story, are you as the people understand, you test a lot of technology. You are really an early adapter guy who really look around, looking also for high professional and low budget solution, and that's what you already does now. You check out an app for the new iPhone, and I think this works also with the iPad with the LiDAR integration.
Yes, yeah, it does. So the new iPhones with the with the little LiDAR sensor. So it's just a little thing at the very bottom there. So you'll find this on the new iPad as well, and you start seeing a whole bunch of different apps now that are becoming available for scanning. So I thought, wow, this is really interesting now. I should give also a shout out to, for example, Dot Product. They're using the Intel sensors with the structured light scanners. This is different though. This is LiDAR.
Yeah.
So it's a slightly different technology, but it's to achieve somewhat of the same thing. And so I've been using the Dot product before because it's very versatile. You can do things outside, but this also works outdoors. So There are several apps right now that you can get for doing this, but the one that caught my eye and interested me was the everypoint app.
Okay.
And the reason that it did was because they're actually fusing two technologies together. So they took photogrammetry, they took LiDAR, and they put them together. And so when I started looking at the results of what they're getting, it was really quite impressive. And so that's was my starting point.
Is this a brand new app, or is this company producing apps for a longer time?
So the company has been around for some time, and they focus mainly on photogrammetry. So they've been around for years. The everypoint is a branch of another company.
Ah,
So
okay.
I believe it was Stockpile Reports, which before that was I think another company called URC Ventures. And
Okay.
so they have a lot of experience with photogrammetry and processing from um, images and video.
Ah,
So,
okay.
so with videos. So, for example, if you have a stockpile and you want to calculate the
Ah,
volume, you walk
ah,
around with your phone, and then they process the
ah,
photogrammetry
okay.
model, and then yeah, and then but the beauty is it's not just the data. They do all the back end software so that you automatically get a report. It ties in
Ah,
with the
okay.
accounting, so that they're very smart. So they did not just, it wasn't, the scanning part is great, but it's what they did afterwards, which was super important, and they've done very
Ah,
well.
okay. As it's not
Mhm.
like, at photogrammetry, you can use also Agisoft Pix4D or other things. I think but they do it smooth integration, or like, for these, what you're showing, I was saying it maybe before, yeah, the Matterport doing this, or, but that was total new for me. Yeah. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
I saw your video. At first you scan the car, and then you say, check out the quality. And then I sent you have to check out, not clicking some points, clicking the axis or something. Say, oh no, I will do a bigger test for you, and that you can show now. Maybe you show a little bit how you work with these LiDAR iPhone.
Yeah, let me, you know what I can do is, let me see if I can bring up the stuff that I did at the beginning, which was the iPhone, and then looking at the car here. Let me just see if I've got something here. I got to make sure I don't have sound. Yeah, I got no sound. So this was a comparison I did. This is just the LiDAR that
Yeah,
comes out of the everypoint app, right? So you can see there's a lot of noise, and there's
yeah, but
um,
I was really surprised for an iPhone.
yeah, I mean, well, I mean, this is really easy, but you can see I've got like parts here that don't work. There's a lot of noise and stuff like that. So this
Yeah.
is just the raw LiDAR. Okay, so that's
Did you have to
coming
show
out.
some? Did you can?
Oh, is it not showing? Sorry. You know
No,
what? I'm gonna.
I don't see it yet. Maybe you see it in your recording.
Yeah, I'm sorry about
But
that. Let me just show you here. That it helps if
it
I
is, and the
share.
customer can see it, then it's okay. Then it's
Yeah, yeah,
fine.
yeah. So it's, hopefully you can see it now.
Now I can see it. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay. This was
So
the first. Yeah.
this is just the LiDAR that's coming out of the.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, so you can see it's not great data, right? You'll see here, there's no loop closure, for example. So
Yeah. You see
it's
double
just
lines.
yeah, it's just trying to put things together. But if it slips, if it drifts or something, then it tries to go back on. But you can't really recover or repair this sort of thing. So not that great, right? So let me just see if I've got more down here. What else did I have? Yeah, let me stop this for a second, and then I will see if I can bring in the other one. So this is the actual episode.
Yeah.
And let me see if I can slide this around here. Okay, so yeah, so let me share again, and you'll see the difference here. Okay, hopefully you can see this.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see this. Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
This
so
was the integration with the camera. Oh.
yeah, so this is, so let me just go back. So this here is the data with the iPhone app. Okay, that's what you're looking at here. So again, so what it is when you're actually scanning around the car, you are picking up LiDAR and you're picking up images from video. And what they do is they use the video and the images to combine together. So when the LiDAR has a problem, and for example, if you're really far away from something or there's high reflections or whatever, they take the photogrammetry and it kicks in and it kind of covers everything. But let's say, for example, when I'm doing the parking lot. So here, this is a great example of what's happening here. So you can see, let me just back up a second. So let me play that again, and then I'm just going to hit stop. There we go. So you see how all these points that are down here, right? So that's not the LiDAR working, right? So up close here, this is the LiDAR that's working to capture the points that are around the car.
As
But
it's
all
limited
this,
by range, of course.
yeah, but all this stuff that's down here, that's getting all picked up by the photogrammetry. It just happened to catch as I was walking around. And so, you expand the amount of data that you can capture, but also, let's say, for example, when I'm doing the parking lot or I'm walking around, when the LiDAR drops off, the photogrammetry kicks in. So they have this really interesting way of combining the two sensors. They're the
Technologies, yeah.
basically, yeah, fusion of two technologies, which gives you a really interesting result. And that's where I started. And
Yeah,
the
but
beauty,
if I'm like I saw the car, and we had for some years we had in research. We was involved in a research project for capturing, also for how you can use scanning technology, photogrammetry, or for research of car accidents. And we try with everything what we have with Artex scanners, with dot products, with Faro scanners to capture a car.
mhm.
And if I can see, of course, if you take in Faro, it will be better. But if I compare it with other hand scanners, this is definitely the same what you maximum can achieve with other systems, and that's with your iPhone.
Yeah, I mean, so what I found really interesting for me was the quality of the data and how
The
simple
quality
it
of the
was.
data.
Yeah,
That's I
so if
mean.
I just pause this here and you look at the data that's on like the license plate or here on the logo, it's quite crisp. So in with some other sensors, you'll find that you get it's blurry, right? It's not as
Yeah, it's
sharp.
blurry. It's yeah,
Yeah,
it's you have noise. They have also the edge issues on the edges. That's just absolute
right.
amazing.
Yeah, so this was three, I'll call it three circles around the car. So basically walking with the phone, low, like low, medium, high, and that's it. And I might even have, let me see if I go back here. I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
away. There you go. So this is showing you kind of like what I'm doing here
yeah,
around the car. And there's nothing, nothing too fancy or whatever. It's
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
simple.
That's the amazing. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So actually, this one is the LiDAR, actually the left phone, but there's got to be another one there. So I've got the phone. Let me just see here. Okay, so this is what I'm doing. I put it onto a selfie stick or like a monopod, and I'm just walking around the car. So, from ease of use and for the type of data that you're getting, it's quite powerful. It's pretty good. So I was really happy
did
with that.
you? One question is what we figure out. It is also related normally to the color of your car. That's by car scanning every time a big issues. Did you check this car have now a good color for scanning?
Yes.
Is not how you call him a white unshiny white. I don't know what the other words meaning in English.
Yeah, yeah. So I
You
don't
have
have
also
I haven't tried like there's some black cars back there, and maybe there may be some that I picked up inadvertently in the just while I was scanning, but I haven't tried like a black car per se.
background. Okay,
Yeah, yeah. So that's something that still has to be
but
checked.
it is a typical color, as I said, and also not the super nicest color. Like white.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, no, of
But
course. But you mentioned, so you just said color right now, but I wanted to say too, like look at the color as well. So look at the color, like sometimes if you're doing photogrammetry, you can get the models can be very like you get a part that's very shiny, a part that's really dark.
yeah,
But I was really impressed with how evenly textured this is here.
the texture
Uh,
look this like a typical sunlight position also into it. As this looks,
yeah, I
it
mean
don't have
it
look
Well,
like a picture.
sometimes just the reflections, even though you may not
Reflections,
have
yeah,
even though you don't have the sun, but even just the reflections as you're walking around will cause a
yeah, yeah.
problem. But this doesn't look too bad. And even some of the other models that I've done outdoors, for example, they do pretty well. So I'm really impressed. Now, the biggest thing, obviously, that I've been trying to show is accuracy, right? So
Yeah.
that's a big one. I mean, it's great, if you just want to walk around and create a model to play with or whatever, then there's a lot of apps that do that. So you can mess with that. But I'm interested if this is going to be used for forensic purposes, then there has to be some kind of accuracy related to this thing. So those are some of the things that I'm addressing, and it's not quite there yet. So if you're going to use your phone and think you're going to get sub centimeter accuracy, it's not going to happen. Okay, so we're not quite there just yet. But from the ease of use standpoint and from the quality of what you're getting, that's not bad. I mean, what we're getting is very promising. And as the sensors improve, as the software algorithms improve, there could be some really, really big opportunities for people in surveying, for people in construction, for people in architecture. So many other areas could benefit from something like this.
Yeah,
And
but I have from the project what we've done, and the solution was later. That's my client say he was a typical investigator, a small one. It's a little bit similar to like you do it. He was interested in technology, but you know most of these investigators are one-man shows. Let me
mhm.
say, there you are only one. You not can invest in $200,000 measurement equipment because you don't have so many cases. And he do also a lot of photogrammetry stuff. And
Right.
then he was thinking the only what now is missing in my project is something if I have a crash car, but stay there on the car graveyard, or I don't know what is the English name, you know, or
Yeah.
in the police shop. And I have to capture these crash car to maybe do some analysis, LiDAR and heat crash. And he was looking for a good solution for this. And I think maybe this one is totally okay because in crash car, you don't need millimeter accuracy, you know, because in the crash process that is very dynamic. And if you can do this with the iPhone, I think maybe for some of these guys, it's
Yeah,
totally okay.
so this model here is one that I did. It literally it took me. I think I did two walks around the vehicle. This is at the Ontario Police College. It's one of their.
Okay.
They have this as a model that's out in the front or whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, I didn't try. I mean, I just kind of went around and very easily I picked up some, some decent data. And I looked at this and I thought, wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So. Now, I haven't checked the scale of this. I just did it very quickly as a little project. But again, it for the future, it looks super promising on, what we're able to obtain with something like this.
Yeah, maybe
And
also if you can put some scale factors
exactly.
inside, or
Yeah.
that they maybe can scale it.
Yeah.
I think it's it's only calculation.
Yes. Yeah. So if, maybe you put three or four little targets or control points down or something like that, and all
And
of a
then you measure
sudden,
this with the distance measurement. You know, you I had over a long time. Maybe you have to speak over a long time an idea that you have only two markers, whereas in the field, and you know exact the position between the two markers, and then you
exactly.
scale it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So with photo, because you're using the LiDAR on the phone is really meant for small areas, right? It's not meant
Okay.
to do very, very large areas. And if you start to, do a big area, well, that's going to give you some problem
That is
because
the
you're
other
going to,
thing what you
yeah,
done. You know, you make then a big check for a large area. Maybe you can
yes,
show this to the audience too.
yeah,
This
sure.
was as the results from the optical point are
Yeah.
very interesting.
Let me show you the raw data first before I do anything. So this was let me bring it up here. This was the first pass that I did, and I tried this a couple of ways in this parking lot. So one way was to move this way, left and right this way, okay, up and down. And then the other way was to move side to side. So when I zoom in,
You,
okay,
you
like
see
this,
here, you see here that you have in this example
yeah.
issues with the. Oh, no, now looks better. In the first year, there you see they have some issues also in the lines that they are not.
Oh, you can see right here. Look, right here. You
Yeah,
can see there's some drift here, right?
some drifts
Drift here
there.
and drift there,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So there are some things here that are not going to be perfect. And again, like I don't know that this was intended for the phone to do like such a large space, but when I first tried it, I thought, wow, this is not a bad start. Like this is a pretty good start for the first one. So, and this is just walking three or four lines, let's say up and down. And then the other way I tried it was, this left and right.
We
But
call
my
them
interest,
In Germany, we call them Leander style, or I don't know. There's
yeah,
some
yeah,
name,
yeah, like almost like a zigzag pattern or
a
something like
zigzag
that.
pack, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But this
So,
is
but
what also the guys from the handheld scanner market say. You have to scan it like this. You know, this should be something in the algorithm. Yeah.
yeah, and that's one of the things is we try to like I tried to do some overlap. I wanted to try some different things. You remember when I do these things, it's not to see when they work, it's to see when they don't work. That's what I'm interested in,
Yeah,
right? So a lot of people want to show when it works well. I'm not interested in
yeah,
that.
that's especially it's I you know I we are also like a selling company, but we are living from strong relation to our clients, and every time you see the big advertising. Oh, I have a new tool. Everything is great. And then we say,
Yeah.
let us check it before, it's
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So we have to, I mean, you have to look at these things with, you have to be skeptical, right? So it's very
yeah,
easy
you
to
have to be
convince
skeptical,
yourself.
especially with all the new technology. I would also, if if somebody bring out a new software update, they say, maybe if you don't need this, better is waiting 2 weeks.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of little things you have to consider when you're doing this, right? And remember, it is just a phone, right? But that's the interesting part.
iPhone, yeah,
It's
that's
yeah, it's very, you can look at it and then all of a sudden go, oh wow, that looks amazing. But you can see, like, if you try, like the other day I was using an app called Scaniverse, or Scaniverse, I don't know how some people pronounce it, which does a really cool job. It goes through and it creates textured meshes or whatever, and they look pretty good. But when you start looking at the model close up, you can see there's a lot of distortion. There's a lot of problem areas that get introduced there. So, it's okay if you just want to do, you want to play around with whatever as a model for virtual reality or something you just want to, play
for this,
with.
guys.
Yeah.
Because
Or
if I going back to my early days, and if you, I don't know how long you are looking for the 2005, if you're also looking, or maybe a little bit earlier, if you know these one system, the earliest one, like, did you know the name LiDAR Scanner was one of the first? It was a German company. That was acquired later by Trimble. I think a basic of the Trimble stuff coming also from them. They
no,
have
that's
an
an
integrated. Maybe I can we can put a picture inside. They had a 6 sensor. There was a little bit camera overlaying. This was total slow, the system, but this was one of the first laser scanners to this time. And if I think the results of this scanner wasn't better from the optical point at what you can do with the iPhone now.
yeah,
That's what.
yeah, there you go.
But
Yeah,
if you compare it
that's
with an old Cyrax scanner, not from quality wise, the quality was better, but from the how good it's looking for, like, art movie guys or something, that's
right,
amazing.
right. Well,
Is this
I
now?
can.
Is this also from the
No,
system, or
so
is
this
this? No,
is
this is from
this
the scanner.
this is from the scanner, so you can see
The
the
scanner.
colors, right? You can see the little
The
circles here showing you the
tripoint.
scan positions.
Yeah.
So what I did was a quick comparison. So I wanted to take the laser scanner, scan this area, and then try a couple of samples, the two different methods that I chose for scanning on the iPhone, and make some comparisons. So what I did was I registered the data sets. And then what I did was a cloud compare analysis, basically a deviation analysis between these. And you can see, the red areas, which are, further out. Let's say once you get to about 5 centimeters, that's the limit that we have here, it will turn red. And anything that's blue is going to be very, very close. So, there are some things here, some little distortions and such like that have to be improved. But the story here is that when you're doing something large like this, the scale is close, but it's not perfect. And so you can improve that by having some control points down and then scaling. And then when you make the
The app can
comparison,
do this as the app from
no,
these,
no,
not
at the
yet.
moment, no,
So
not
you can
yet.
do it in cloud compare. You have to
Yes.
do it.
So if you pull the data out and then you have some control, you can obviously scale it in Cloud Compare. But what I did here was I took the data and then I registered it to the laser scanner data. But one of the functions you can do when you register is you can also allow the scaling of the point cloud to be adjusted too.
Okay.
So I registered and scaled at the same time. And then, the errors went from, 20, 25, 30 centimeters down to like 5, 6 centimeters, right?
And
Which is, yeah.
how is the app is working? Is the app working on the? Is this a cloud calculation process, or how you do
So
it?
that's interesting. So they allow you to do both. So you can actually, there are two different modes on the app. There's a recording mode, which you record and then it goes up to the server and comes back. But there's also an on phone processing. So
Okay.
you can make some adjustments and you can record and then it processes it in some steps. And it, something that takes just like a minute or two for something small. Something this big actually took quite a while to process. So this is not, you wouldn't do this on your phone. So I used the other mode, which was you record it, it goes up to the servers or the cloud, and then it gets spit out. But they
It is,
have,
in Germany we have these cloud stuff, in Europe is, yeah, if people are careful with clouds, it's,
yeah,
As I think the police will not use it on the American cloud. I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
Uh,
and that's why you can do it on your phone. So
yeah.
they've made some updates right now.
But
Now,
what is if you take an iPad? Would it have an iPad a better processor, or is it similar to an iPhone? I'm not the Apple
Uh,
guy.
I think it would be similar. I mean, it may be a
Similar.
little bit better. I'm not. I honestly would have to check. I don't know what kind of processors you
Okay.
can get inside of the iPads now, and if they're any better. But this is heavy data crunching. This is not,
Okay.
not really
As
intended for the phone. But yeah, yeah.
a summary, we can say small object you can do on your phone. If you want scan larger object, then you should record it and send it then to the cloud computing. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. With the everypoint app, for
What is
sure.
the company? Is this an American company, a Canadian, or where they come
I
from?
believe they're from the U.S. I'm going to
Okay.
say their headquarters are somewhere out west, maybe in
Okay.
Oregon or California, something like that. And right now, it's just it's just a technology demonstrator.
Okay.
So
As it's already you can book this service, as you can use it for money, or it is in a beta system, or
it's free, so you can just
it's
download it.
free.
It's free right now.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay, cool. As they will
So
bring out something in the future where maybe they charge you some money, but actually everybody who like to use it, they can use it now for free.
yeah, you can use it for free. Now, the version that I have,
Mhm.
I was testing some things. So I have if you watch the videos I have, there's a few extra features there because they unlocked some things for me, okay, to look at.
Okay.
So
Okay. Yeah.
the,
Yeah.
the
Okay.
the version that most people are going to get is a little bit different, maybe. So it have a couple of options less, but it is free to use. The scans come right now. They're coming as like PLY when you export, and but eventually, if you have Cloud Compare, which is free, you can just open them and you can convert them to whatever format you want.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's
Did
point
you,
at
but
the
did you give the guys give you some feedback to your videos, what you done, or you get some comments from them, or
yeah. I
they
mean,
don't know what you are doing?
no, they were excellent. They were really great. They just said, just be very honest. They said, we'll give you, just try the app with some extra features. They said you can be as honest as you want. We're not. They're just. I mean, they're really just starting out, but they're really pushing
Okay.
hard in this area. So they want to know if there's any things that they can improve and what things maybe are better or worse. So I mean, they love the videos. They said that they really enjoyed them. They thought it was like really what they're looking for, because they don't get a lot of users maybe that get deep into the analysis part, like with Cloud Compare and everything else. So that was helpful for them, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also I think we should put there the links inside to this company, and for people that like to check these out, maybe you can forward this to me and then we put it inside. And yeah, it was great to see what we can do. I was really surprised from everything what I saw from what you can achieve with technology. I think there was
Yeah.
for this year until now was these, you have some other, their new scanner is a little bit faster, but to get such results out of an iPhone, that's surprised me really.
Yeah, I think so too. And
Yeah.
the
Also, you with your photogrammetry, you do much more with photogrammetry. We don't, we are the scan guys. We need the beams. You are open and play around with different technology, but you are
yeah,
also a
no,
pro.
yeah, with photogrammetry too. So I've been using photogrammetry since like 2000 and 2006 or something like that, and not the new photogrammetry, the old photogrammetry, right? So which was much more of a pain to work with. But you can do things with when you have a very comprehensive photogrammetry package that you can't do with just building 3D models. But
Okay.
yeah, so I also have courses that I'm
Yeah,
teaching.
that's to the end. Yeah, you should also tell that I think you basically have two courses, or what you are doing. One is
Yeah,
forensic.
well, the one, if anyone wants to go to the website, you can find out. But basically, there's a
We put
photogrammetry
this
class.
below here. Yeah, we have to.
Sure. It's
Yeah.
called, I call it Click 3D, but basically we use 3DF Zephyr. It's a very easy software to use. And I go through that. It's a 2-day course. We go through and take you from zero to creating 3D meshes and models and exporting them. And it's not just for forensics people, it's for anybody really. We've had people who are like artists and engineering people, whatever. And then it's a 2-for-1 class. So after that class, you get access to a cloud compare class. So that's a 2-day
Okay.
class where now you learn how to manipulate and register data and do different things with the meshes and that sort of thing. So that's the main course that I've been offering. I've already taught it a few times already. I'm going to be offering it a few more times this year. There's a lot of interest in photogrammetry, as you probably know.
But it was really interesting for me that you explain a little bit what you are doing there and give now a little bit more background information as only in the we will also put the video inside that people can see the original videos what you does, and yeah, that's I think okay for now.